Names in the news. These are other storylines I want you to pay attention to. Just outside the periphery of the top teams comes LSU and Brian Kelly, former Notre Dame coach, former Cincinnati coach, former Central Michigan coach. He's done a really good job everywhere he's been. Good season last year, but he's not equal to Georgia nor Bama yet. I'm just wondering if Brian Kelly can take the actual step forward in Baton Rouge and make LSU a really true national power, or will they just be a really good top 10 team? Keep an eye on that. Can he recruit to the equal number that Saban does in Tuscaloosa and Kirby Smart does in Athens, Georgia? Notre Dame, Marcus Ferguson, second year in, he, of course, replaced Brian Kelly in South Bend. Ferguson, of course, had been part of the Irish coaching staff. He's gone through a bit of a bump in the road here. He lost both his quarterbacks. Ty Buckner defected, went to Alabama, and Drew Pine left after he lost the job to Buckner. He wound up at Arizona State. He's had some injury problems. Notre Dame likes to view itself, they puff their chest out, national power. Well, they haven't really been a national power in a long time. So how good is Marcus Ferguson? North Carolina, can one man make a difference? Now, granted, the Atlantic Coast Conference is not equal to the Big Ten nor the SEC, and now maybe not even the Pac-12. But Drake Maye is like a hired gun quarterback at North Carolina, and he turned down the chance to go to the NFL. He wanted to come back and play.
Yeah, he was good.
Just like Bo Nix did up in Oregon. So can Drake Maye be a one-man show for Carolina? Penn State, they've done a good job. They're not the national power they were in the era of the Paternos. They got to replace their quarterback. Sean Clifford was a 4-year starter at Penn State. He wasn't real good when he started. By the time he was done, he rewrote the record book. He's in the NFL. So Sean Clifford is no longer the starting quarterback in Nittany Lions. Can they find a thrower to go with all the runners? They have such a heritage there. Texas Christian, Max Duggan, gone. Tight end, gone. Top 2 receivers, gone. Bunch of them in the NFL. Was Texas Christian a one-hit wonder? Or because they made a statement in the last couple of years and built this thing, are they starting to get a lot of quality recruits there? And then there's the Colorado story. They played TCU in the opener. Coach Prime, they love him in Boulder, but I'll tell you what, around the country, he is getting skewered by coaches, by administrators, and by a national media. Now, he doesn't care. His whole philosophy this week was, I told them the truth, talking about the players who left. 76 of them left. I told them the truth. The transfer portal was there. I used it. He's got 86 new players, 53 transfers. He got 22 transfers in after they completed spring football, and they ran more players out. Awful lot of questions about his insensitivity towards the players that he inherited. The exit meetings, I was told, were very impersonal. They were almost to the borderline point of being crude, what the coaches told the players. They had their star wide receiver who led the team in receptions and suffered a significant knee injury right at the end of the year. He did all the rehab, spent the entire offseason in rehab, went to spring ball and did rehab. And after spring ball, they told him, you're not welcome here. You can't play here. We don't think you can compete here. This is the star receiver who did all the rehab under their doctors. But Primetime's response, I told the players the truth. They couldn't compete. You were 1-11. So that's the atmosphere. They love them in Boulder. A lot of people don't like Neon Dion. And now the burning question, will they be any better than 1-11, even though he recruited all these kids and he took his son and everybody from Jackson State? It's going to be a fascinating story to see, but he's borderline brilliant or borderline belligerent. So go ahead, tell me.
Well, they're all hating on Dion because they want Colorado to be a cupcake, on their schedule like they've been for the last 10 or 20 years. So, yeah, the team lost one game last year. So clearly those players are not at the level of competitiveness, and they brought Dion in to win. So Go Dion, go Coach Prime, man. Let's turn this program around. And yeah, he was radical, but he's been a radical his whole life. So this just fits the persona. So this, of course, I'm following San Diego State closely, but this is the second team I'm going to closely follow is Colorado. But yeah, look at some of these other names on the board. TCU had that fun, run last year, but they've had some really good seasons in the past as well. So I think they're going to be built to stay. So who else on that list? The Nittany Lions were, that's a program that to me feels like a time warp to another era.
Exactly.
They're a good program still, and they compete, but you look at all those other, Notre Dame, et cetera. I want to ask you though, Hacksaw, as a broadcaster, you've been in this business forever, or even as a fan, what is the college football stadium experience that you've enjoyed the most?
I went to Penn State. I did an Ohio U Penn State game, and we were grossly overmatched. And I had a chance to interview Paterno. I was blown away. That was an experience. 106,000 fans at Beaver Stadium. That was one of the really marvelous things. When I did USC football for 3 years, we played Penn State at the Meadowlands in New Jersey, and Paterno was the head coach. And that's when the program was just starting to get away from him. Ohio State, Michigan. I mean, I've sat in the press boxes for those games, and that's really special.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's bleeping history. But when I did USC, UCLA, and I'd never actually experienced that game in the stadium on press row and broadcast, that's pretty electric too. So, yeah, some of this stadium experiences are really, really kind of neat.
Yeah. I mean, I just think it's terrific. That's why I'm excited to go. I mean, granted, I'm going to Snapdragon on Saturday to see San Diego State, Idaho State, which is not Michigan, Ohio State. But, what I've done in the past also is I've traveled on the road and gone to see San Diego State basketball elsewhere. Maybe I need to go to Vegas and go see them in Allegiant Stadium against UNLV. That might be a kind of a fun road trip.
Except there's so many empty seats there because nobody in Las Vegas pays any attention to the running Rebels.
Yeah.
So that's kind of a deficient thing. I wish San Diego's fans would embrace the Aztec program. That's a neat stadium. It could be a loud stadium. It could really be a fun home field advantage if we didn't have 16,000 empty seats because San Diego fan is off doing something else on Saturday. So team gets good. They got UCLA a week from now. And then beyond that, they got Boise in here. They got Fresno in here. They got Nevada in here. They're going to play a role as to if they can win it or something. They're going to play a role as to who eventually winds up winning. That Boise State, San Diego State game's going to be a doozy. If the Aztecs are what I think the Aztecs could be, because I know what I think Boise is right now. Okay,